Larry really got turned on to sustainability through his love of coffee. You know, he was a big coffee geek. He started making coffee and he learned about fair trade as a way to make better coffee and make closer connections with the farmers. And the more he learned about these better connections with farmers and kind of social sustainability, he was also getting turned on to this idea that, you know, we can do everything differently. Why are we running this kind of dinosaur economy where we're just digging up this resource-intensive oil from the ground so that we can run these really heavy cars to move lots of heavy shit around, you know, when there's easier, better ways of doing things. You know, we can be intelligent, we can use sunlight to light our buildings, we can run our delivery van on waste vegetable oil. You know, there's a million different ways that we can do things better. And I think that's what Larry's thing has always been, let's find ways to do things better. Not necessarily do things perfectly, but do things better. And that's something that I think came into play with the bag. Throw me the bag. So I'm Sammy Grover. I work with the Change Creation. We do branding, design with Larry's Beans. They're in the business of making coffee, and you've got to get that coffee to the consumer somehow, put it in something. What that something is this big unknown, but there are certain stipulations as to what will make sure the coffee stays good. And that's important because no one's going to buy, well, some people buy bad coffee all the time, but Larry's customers aren't going to buy bad coffee.
The ideal scenario in a coffee is to put it in a bag that is airtight. If it's not airtight, the coffee starts to deteriorate really fast.
There really weren't many options outside of plastic. So we learned about this new technology that's intended to break down a traditional plastic bag.
Put coffee in, you drink your coffee, you throw the bag away, and it vaporizes.
The bag has been really popular. It's had like loads of good press. It won some awards, and there's a lot of really goodwill that it's generated and a lot of interest. There's also been some folks who have very specific issues with the technology. You know, that's obviously a big concern.
Biodegradability as a generic term is usually misleading. You need to really associate biodegradability with a specific disposal avenue or an end-of-life scenario. So you can say things biodegrade during composting, you can say they biodegrade in the soil. Consumers' expectations are when they hear the word biodegradable that somehow or another the bag, in this case, will fully disappear. And that's just not happening.
There's a lot of products out there that are biodegradable. In fact, my car, enough time goes by, is biodegradable. There's real no proof that that bag, once gets into the landfill, is going to degrade. I've worked landfills back in the 90s. We dug down to the bottom of the landfill where they started putting garbage in 20 years before. We pulled that stuff up. A hot dog's supposed to be degradable, compostable, but the hot dog was still there, shoes, newspapers you could still read. I can't imagine a biodegradable product will degrade any quicker than a hot dog.
When we've looked at materials that had these additives in them, we found 5%, 10% overall biodegradation, and then the process stops. Ideally, from an end-of-life perspective, you would like to have a package that's either recyclable or compostable. It didn't go into a landfill.
You can be more successful if you embrace your failures. And I consider this one of them. So no more Larry's Bio Bag. We're looking for the next thing.